Hey y'all, Matt here. I wanted to do a quick video and talk through my bike setup. So I'm going to throw in some B-roll here. I got some fancy shots the other night in the backyard. A couple things have actually changed since then. We'll talk through those. Yeah, I just wanted to talk through my bike, details on it, and then I'll roll in some close-ups of the bike here as I'm talking about each part. So this is a 2022 Specialized Diverge E5. It's the base model. Normally run about $1,300. I got it on sale because it was last year's model for not $850, $900. And I was looking for a bike, and I was looking at used market on Facebook Marketplace and things, and trying to find a cheaper bike and then be able to slowly upgrade stuff, and ended up finding a really good deal on this, which had basically everything I wanted, and I was able to make a couple of minor changes to really get it set up how I wanted it. So that was the advice of friends. Like, this is the best option that I found in a reasonable price point. I have a little background on me. I rode a bike a lot as a kid, but haven't ridden as a teenager or an adult at all. And went to Bentonville, got inspired by the cycling culture there, and decided, hey, I want to go and get myself a bike and ride for my health and for fun, and be able to, mainly to be able to explore new areas that I wouldn't be able to get to just walking or driving. Let's start at the front of the bike and kind of work our way back. So, very first thing, this is the Routewerks Handlebar Bag. I've got a GoPro mounted on top of that rides there sometimes. This Lenzyne light that I have mounted on the side is super bright. I have an almost 3-year-old and ride a lot at nighttime after she goes to bed on some really dark, unlit trails. But I wanted something that was super bright, made me very visible, and so the Lenzyne combo tail light and headlight worked out really well. For the Routewerks bag, again, I really like this. It's super simple and easy to open. It's easy to quickly access snacks and things. I keep pepper spray in there, snacks, multi-tool, gels, all kinds of stuff. A koozie in there. It's really, really good for like a morning ride. If I've got my coffee, I can open this up and kind of put all the stuff over on one side and put my coffee cup in there, kind of wedged in on one side, and it rides really well. Also works good for a beer if you're on a chill, like, party pace ride, which is really fun. Yeah, so this is a Shimano Claris drivetrain. It's a 2x8. And right now it's doing what I need it to do. Yes, I would love to have a wide range mullet, or, you know, a GRX setup that's the new hotness, but this really does what I want it to do. Especially with a waxed chain, this setup runs real smoothly, shifts really well, and I really like it. You'll notice that the bars here look different than they do in the other video, the B-roll that I'm doing. I realized that I had my bars and my shifter set up incorrectly, and the bars themselves are a Salsa Cowchippers. These are the 46 centimeter wide, and I really like them. They're super good. I didn't really care for the bars that came with it. They were fine, but I think they were 44 width, and these just were really nice. They're a little bit wider, but mainly the drops with the flare are much more comfortable and easier to access for me. Give my hands a lot more places to go. I really couldn't use those drops on the stock bars because they're not flared, and hands were way too in. Didn't really care for it. This is definitely more suited to my style of riding. I use the quad lock phone mount, not the Pro version, the regular plastic version. Works just fine. I'm not a big fan of the case itself. I don't really like that phone case, but it has protected my phone when I've dropped it a couple times, and it interfaces really well on the bike. I got the S-Works Pathfinder Pros in 42 width, and I really dig them. They do really good. You can see maybe if that camera's angled right, but they're super muddy today. They do really well in the mud, in the dirt, on the gravel, and on pavement. So I am really happy with them. I have thought, you know, did I go too skinny on them? Should I have gone to the max clearance for this bike, which is 47s? But they don't make the S-Works version in a 47. They only make it in the 42. So it would be a heavier tire on its own, plus it would be heavier because it was bigger. And then I have a lot less clearance. I rode through some serious mud today and did not have any need to stop and clean stuff off. They shed mud really well, and even when they're covered in mud, it did not build up enough to where I was having to stop and scrape. And I do keep a scraper in my bag, but have not needed it really. Oh, and I run them about 42-ish PSI. The wheels on here are the stock Axis Elite wheels from Specialized. You see mixed things on the internet about whether they can be set up tubeless or not, but Specialized says that they can. They're set up with Terravail tape, orange sealant, and DT Swiss valves. They took a little while to set. I had to go back once because the rear wheel was not holding air really well. But after some troubleshooting and about 3 or 4 weeks of that sealant being in there, it filled all the leaks, and they hold air really well now, and haven't had any problems. I got a bottle cage on the fork up here. All my bottle cages are from Mad Duck. I just stumbled upon these, and I bought some cheap ones with the bike, and they just didn't hold the bottles in, especially the big bottles. And these hold the bottles really well. I have, I'll have to look up the particular model of it. I don't remember the particular model of it, but I have Ass Savers mud guards on my bike because I do ride in wet and muddy stuff. Put those on there. Probably not super really required, but they look cool, and they do have an advantage and pretty much no disadvantages. So I've got one in the front, and then the Wind Wing Detour gravel version in the back. And today I got super muddy on my legs and stuff, but like my ass and my seat and light and Garmin and everything are not dirty at all. Hey everyone, this video is brought to you by The Feed. The Feed gives me a small stipend, and it's allowed me to try different things and determine what works for me and what doesn't. Their water bottles are really great. These are the race day bottles. Highly recommend them if you need some new bottles for your bike or for whatever. These are very cool. So this bike is been dubbed Elaine Benes. I'm a big Seinfeld fan, and I was trying to think of a name for my bike, because you got to name your bike like you got to name your boat, right? I was trying to think of a name, and originally I settled on Cosmo Kramer.
Here's to feeling good all the time.
But I told my wife, and she's like, hey, you picked a guy's name? You can't pick a guy's name. It's got to be a girl's name. You can't name a boat after a dude. You got to name it after a woman. So, obvious pick was Elaine Benes.
Jerry, I want to slide my tongue around you like a snake.
Let's talk pedals. So I am running flats on this bike. I have heard the advantages of running clipless, and I've tried clipless, and while it's cool and I can definitely see some advantages to it, it did not outweigh the disadvantages for me. I much prefer, I have a really big wide foot, and I much prefer a wide platform pedal on my bike, so I can really like spread my foot out. Like I like shoes with wide toe boxes, like Ultras or Limbs, and I really couldn't find a shoe that allowed me to do that. That wasn't silly expensive. And then also, I have a kid trailer hitch, and I have, like I said, I have a 3-year-old who loves to go on bike rides with me. So I've got a kid trailer hitch on there, and I've replaced the rear axle with a Robert Axle Project kid trailer axle, and I have not had any issues with that. It's been super easy to put that in, and they say like, make sure and take it out when you're not using the trailer, but I leave it on there all the time and have not had any problems. My spare bag back here is an Arundel saddlebag. It's got a tube, CO2 cartridges, a nozzle, all of that stuff for fixing flats. I have, again, the Lenzyne rear light, the 400 lumen model, and then up front is that 1200 lumen model. And then I have the Garmin Varia. This is the like radar only version. I think it's the 300 series. And since I just use my phone for a cycling computer, I have it linked up to my phone, and it works really well. I've tested it. It works on single track. If somebody's coming up fast behind you on single track, it'll alert you. Basically, it detects anything behind you that's moving towards you faster than you are. So if you're stopped, it'll pick up runners. If you're in a race, it'll pick up people that are about to pass you, and you can get out of the way. It is invaluable tool in my opinion. So that's my bike. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments. Please leave them down in the comments section or send me a message. I would be happy to talk to you about this bike and tell you about my experiences and answer any questions that you might have that are within my wheelhouse to answer.